a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me.
Hello, everyone. Well, it's time for another interview. Yes, I know you're excited, as you should be. So my guest today has had a very long music career. I'm really pleased to have him on the show, Bruce Coughlan. Welcome to the show, Bruce.
Hello. Thank you very much, Nancy. Nice to be on the show.
Oh, it's nice to have you here. I did pronounce your last name correct, didn't I?
Coughlan.
Coughlan, yeah. Okay, great. So now, when did you start your music career?
Well, I started playing guitar probably when I was 11. My hands got big enough. I started on the ukulele when, at probably 7 or 8 years old, and pretty serious about it. Like I said, by 11, my hands were big enough. By 12, I had a garage band, and by 13, I was doing the odd gig with an pop band as a bass player. So, yeah, I had a little bit of experience performing before I was 14. I had a disagreement with my school, and I left. And at that point, I started, but it was old school back then. My dad said, "There's the door. It works both ways. House rules. You're either in school or you have a job."
Hey.
I said, "Well, music is my job." And he laughed at me. And I picked up my guitar and I walked out the door. I've been playing music ever since.
Right. And that's like 50 years of having a music career. That's pretty awesome. You know,
Yeah, well, it's it's not without its ups and downs.
Of course. But during that time, like, have you always been in a band, or have you done solo performing, or both?
I've done it all. I love performing, and I love playing with other people, but I'm content to pick up a guitar and walk onto any stage, just me and my guitar, and have no qualms about that.
Right. Now, according to your bio, you're saying that many of your songs reflect the roads you've traveled over the years.
Yeah, the different. Well, when I write, it's usually spurred by some personal experience, and colored by the different places I've been. I love to immerse in different types of music. So I've been to Scotland 13 times because I absolutely adore Scottish music.
Okay.
And I immersed myself in it to the point where I write Scottish music.
That's pretty cool.
It was the same. My group, Tiller's Folly, we were managed out of Nashville for 3 years, and we got to tour all around the South. Well, when you're in a hotbed of roots music like that, so much great music, getting in there and engaging and playing, you pick up on the nuance. And now I write Southern sounding songs from that era. Right. But it changes with every, like I said, I like to immerse myself in whatever music it is. And as long as it's people playing it and not out of a beatbox, I'm totally content to play anything.
Very, very cool. So it sounds like you're pretty eclectic when it comes to your music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like acoustic music is what I prefer.
Mm-hmm.
I love the sound of a well played, nice instrument. It's stirring even just by itself.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It is so nice. Now you recorded your first album in 1984.
Yeah.
So
it's called Bare Facts. And I recorded it with a partner, Joe McDonald. He was a keyboard player, and we worked together at the Unicorn in Vancouver.
All right.
It was an Irish pub centered around 1986, the Olympics. Or was it Olympics? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
It was a big to do at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
And we came out of that with, well, I was doing Irish music then.
Right. So now, since that time, you've recorded 14 albums.
Yep.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's a lot of music, right?
That's over 200 songs.
Wow, yeah. So sorry, I'm a little, if I sound disjointed, it's just because I'm trying to read at the same time. You know, I've underlined some things I wanted to make sure we talked about, right?
No words.
You were recognized for your historically based ballads, correct?
Yes. It's probably the one singular thing that I do that very few other people do. And that is write songs about our history. Being from sort of the Celtic tradition, I grew up listening to songs about historic battles, about highwaymen, about these were the things that they wrote about.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, what a great way to preserve history. You learn a lot when you listen to Robert Burns, or you read Robert Burns. There's context there and a lot of culture. So I thought, well, we don't have enough of that in Western Canada. We're a brand new country, 150 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I thought it's time we start writing. I mean, I'm not the first, and I certainly hope I'm not the last.
Right.
But I've recorded over 24 songs about BC history, Western Canadian history.
Yeah, because I think, as you said, like in Western Canada, because I'm pretty sure, well, I come from the East, so I think in the Eastern Canada, especially in places like Nova Scotia and those areas, they've been doing that type of music, right?
Yeah, and it shows, they have their own folk music that speaks of their, songs and rhymes that cover the plates, tea you pick for winter. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Now, in 2015, your group Tiller's Folly released "Stirring Up Ghosts." So tell me about that.
Well, that's just a collection of which I spoke. We've been recording songs about Western Canadian history through our first half dozen records, albums, and then from that point, at that point we put them all together as just one single volume. Well, volume 1 and 2 CD set. And I don't think anyone else had ever done that.
Right. It's nice to be a
first in Canada.
Right. Yeah. And it's nice to be first in something, right?
Yeah. Well, it's nice to be able to say, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, for sure.
I
think it's
especially when you spend 50 years doing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, that is a collection of 24 historical based songs, correct?
Correct. And
you're also been, let's see now, welcomed as an international touring artist?
Yes, like I said, I've been to Scotland 13 times, been all over the United States, 38 states. And with my group Tiller's Folly, we've been down a lot of roads.
Right.
And they're a great bunch of guys as well. So,
very nice to hear that.
Yeah. I work with a bass player by the name of Lawrence Knight,
okay.
And a multi-instrumentalist named Nolan Murray, and they're both very talented musicians, and they're always there to prop me up. So
very good. Yeah, I was just going to add that one thing about music, it's universal, right?
Absolutely.
Which is one of the wonderful things that brings people together, I would say. Where's that? Yeah.
Well, I'd like to think that when people walk away from one of my original shows where you're listening to my music, that they find a lot to relate to. That the themes are, for lack of a better word, very human themes.
Right.
So hopefully your takeaway, you'll hear the story of the song, the story within the song, but you'll interpret it based on your own experience. And I think that's, I'm just painting pictures. Well, I'm painting pictures with my words, and you're painting those pictures in your own mind's eye based on your experience, and that's a magical connection.
Yeah, for sure. Right. No, you perform with, let's see now, what's it? Performed with voices for the Salish Sea.
That's right. Well, that was a collaboration. between
Okay.
Tiller's Folly and a group called the Wilds.
Wow.
And they specialize in songs about the ecology and a lot of songs about basically what the West Coast and its diverse, from the whales to the birds to all that. That's what they sing about. Is the importance also of fostering our natural places and
Right.
beings. So we got together, and between our songs about the history of the West and their songs about the ecology and the organics of the whole place,
Right. Yeah.
it's a very deep sort of blend of music, and we did that. We did a few shows, or we've done a few shows where we bring choirs in. So they could be community choirs. We had the BC Boys Choir with
Nice.
us for a few shows, and just lovely young singers, and yeah. So that was a lovely project. We like to that was pre-COVID, and once we get the wheels turning back post-COVID, we'll get back to singing the praises of our beautiful West Coast.
Very good. Now, I'm just thinking about when you're writing your historical ballads, that means you have to do some research, right?
I have to do a lot of research.
I wasn't going to say a lot but I'm thinking it has to be.
Yeah, and you have to find again a story within its context. It's kind of like historical fiction in a way. What I'm singing about is true, but I'm more concerned about the storyline and how people will relate to it.
Ah.
So we just recorded. I was recently commissioned by the British Columbia Farm Museum to write a song about the birth of agriculture in our great province.
Right.
And which turns out very close geographically to where I live. I live in Maple Ridge,
right.
And just down the hill, no more than half a mile, would have been one of the first, if not the first, preemption homestead in British Columbia.
Mm.
And it was by a fellow named Samuel Robertson.
Right.
He has a high school named after him in town here, and nobody knows who he is or was.
Right.
But he had a quiet, nondescript sort of guy, kept a very low profile, worked very hard and worked very smart, and achieved amazing things. And the title of the song is Simply Extraordinary Life. And we'll be doing, we've recorded it, we'll be releasing that in the next few months. But we've also recording a songumentary,
which is
a short documentary preceding the song that puts it into its historical context, where I go to the places involved in the song. Because, for instance, his homestead is now a park. I get to walk through the park and explain here's where it all started. And so it ties together education with tourism, with culture. I think it's a cool project, and it's all going to be short, no more than 10 minutes for the whole thing.
Right.
So the kids can watch it and appreciate it and not get bored. And folks like us can go, oh, we'll listen to that and then check out the next one. Because I hope to make a whole series of stirring up ghost songamentaries.
Wow, I really like that, because I haven't heard anything like that before. So that sounds really, really interesting and fascinating at the same time. One of the questions I want to ask when writing the music, is it a collaborative effort, or do you do most of the writing? Like, how does that work?
Well, I am primarily principal writer for almost every project I'm ever involved in. Okay. I write the songs and then I build a project around them. Because you have to market things, right? You have to get it out there and let people know what you do, and you got to keep letting them know. So that's something new, and we've been as a group, Tiller's Folly, been playing historically based music for 25 years, and I just want to take it to the next as a legacy project.
Mm.
So, it's not forgotten when I'm not around, and neither am I.
No, that sounds, if you think about like some of the Canadian performers who are no longer here, it lingers, it does stay on, when they have something that to share about the country, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a wonderful way to go about things.
Well, I
No,
was inspired by people like Gordon Lightfoot,
yeah,
who wrote the record of the Edmund Fitzgerald, not the Ella Fitzgerald. And Stan Rogers was an amazing Canadian talent, as was Stompin' Tom.
right.
In his own way, could sure paint a picture.
Yes, yes, that's true. He would just bring you in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were you were in Sudbury, and it was a Saturday night, and you were sitting in the pub with all this mix of humanity about you.
I'm just trying to think about like years ago, Stompin' Tom, and they were on TV, and I can't remember whose show it was.
Tommy Hunter?
Oh, yes. So it was a regular weekly event that everybody in my family looked forward to,
Yeah.
right? It was really good. I mean, we had less shows to watch, but they were very substantial, I think.
Oh yeah, Don Messers. I still remember being probably 4 or 5 years old and just waiting for Disney to end so we could watch Don Messers.
Oh, I didn't start that early. We didn't have a TV until I was about 10.
Oh my.
That was kind of interesting. Anyway, another subject. So now your type of music, your style of music is Celtic, bluegrass, Americana, folk, maritime, blues, all of that.
Yeah. I guess it all falls under sort of the umbrella of roots music. Music that is inspired by or derived from this certain style or culture.
Okay.
Right? So roots music in Ireland is different from roots music in Louisiana.
Right.
But they're all roots music. So I kind of pick and choose from those many palettes. And like I say, I go straight to the source. I'm hoping before this year's up that I'll be in Cape Breton, immersing and engaging in the roots music of that area.
Yeah.
Because for many years, as I said, over a dozen tours of Scotland, people are saying, "Oh, you're from Canada. You must be from Cape Breton." Just assuming because of my the music that I'm playing at the time, right?
Now your style of guitar playing is both flat pick and finger style.
Correct.
So,
I can do both.
Okay, so for people
who kind of play one way or the other, and depending on the situation. If it's just me, I prefer sometimes to the finger style.
Right.
Again, like Gordon Lightfoot or Stan Rogers.
Yeah, for sure. Now, today, as we speak, like you're emerging apparently as a solo performer and a storyteller, right?
Perfect. Exactly.
And media host.
Hence the songumentaries.
Say that again. The what?
The songumentaries that we discussed. That's the idea. Is sort of hosting those snippets of Western Canadian history.
Right. Do you have a website?
Songsmith.ca.
Nice and simple. Songsmith.ca. Okay, I'll make sure that I include it so that people can go and check it out. And also imagine that's where you're, if you have events coming up, performances coming up, it'll all be there, right?
When I catch up with them.
They can always contact you and find out, right?
Yes, well, I will be posting right now. Over the last couple of years, I've been in production of a number of different shows. So in January, I typically play Burns music of Robert Burns, the Bard and his ballads.
Right.
March is St. Patrick's month, and Tiller's Folly has 25 years of different places that call us back to come and play St. Paddy's month with them. So those are mostly scattered through the Northwest here.
Okay.
Oregon, Washington, British Columbia.
Right.
And in between that, I do school shows with a group called In My Life, a Beatles retrospective.
Right.
School shows and community festivals, our community concert series. I also have a Moon Dance, Van Morrison songbook. And that's a 6-piece review of Van Morrison's music. Sort of where Celtic music meets R&B.
Okay, yeah, right. Sounds like you're a very busy person.
Oh yeah, and Tiller's Folly, we just teamed up with an Irish dancer. Well, he was an Irish dancer when we first worked with him 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's since traveled the world. He's come back a singer, a guitar player, and percussionist in his own right. He's still an amazing dancer. And local folks will be able to catch him with us at the Canada Day in Maple Ridge.
What date is that? Canada Day.
Canada Day, July 1st of July. Yeah. That's a week away.
Hello.
One week today, and we'll be doing that.
I might not get this aired in time for that.
Oh well, it's okay.
Well, I might be able to switch things around. But it would be that. I'll see what I can do.
Whatever works. There's if you miss us there, there's a footage of a song we played 20 years ago. No, was it 24 years ago? We were Canada Day on Parliament Hill.
Nice.
And we got to sing a song about the Fraser River. It was the 150th anniversary of the declaration of the British Columbia.
Right. Wow, cool. So how about this now? I'm going to put you on the spot because we're running out of time. Would you be able to sing us out?
Sing you up. Well, let's see. I think I might be able to do that.
So while you're getting ready, I just want to say to the audience, this is listen to Bruce Coughlan, and I'm going to include his site so you can check it out. And want to thank everybody for watching this show, and peace out, everyone, and have a great day.
Up now every morning, feel like a man on the run. Love still seems more of a slave the less my work gets done. Feel alone in the tune, step in the bones. Tell the truth, I don't think I'm alone. 'Cause if things don't swing like they ought to, you just leave them alone. Roosters crowing in the backyard, and dogs howling at the moon. And Sunday is a day of rest, but it's best that it gets here soon. 'Cause the wind's gonna rise, breeze gonna fall, ages will rock, this old Beatles gotta roll. If things don't swing like they ought to, you just leave them alone. All it takes is rock pants high, a little faith, a little desire. Keep kicking till you can't get high. You'll be swinging like a house on fire. In 4 times, 3, 4 quarters, we'll have a time just south of the border. And if things don't swing like they ought to, you just leave them alone. Oh, pack it up and go home. Gotta leave it alone.
Thank you, Bruce, and thank you, everybody, for watching the show.
A sense of community, till the wax a place to be. A sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, Go dancing after dark, Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see.